Confidence in teenagers and middle schoolers is such a tough thing, especially when they're linked with their grades and their academic success or failure. So, today I'm going to talk about rebuilding your teen's confidence after school stress or a failure. A bad grade, a failed class, a semester that didn't go as planned. For many teens, high schoolers, college students, school struggles feel like judgment of who they are and not just what they did. When teens tie self worth to performance, academic stress becomes emotional pain. What I'm trying to say is when students tie their grades to who they are as a person and they don't do well, they get down on themselves. They think that they are not worthy of that person. Let's take a young adult in college, freshman year. Let's say it's their first semester at school. Life already is tough. They're living away, they're adjusting. Now they're on a college schedule. They have all this independence and they don't do well in one of their classes. They immediately tie their self worth to the grade they received for that semester. As a parent, you're saying you should have worked harder. Did you show up for class? What happened? They're hearing they're not good enough. What do we do? How do we do and build that confidence instead of saying those things? So many times parents just want to rush in to fix. What teens really need is validation. They need to hear that was really hard having all that on your plate your first semester at college. It makes sense you're disappointed in yourself. Those are the kind of things you say. You tell them this doesn't define you. When I have middle schoolers and they do something wrong, the vice principal will give consequences. I will then follow up with them and I will explain to them this out of school suspension, it doesn't define who you are. Today is a fresh start. Today is a new day. Take it as a fresh start, a new beginning. What you did doesn't define who you are. You are able every day to reinvent yourself, to make yourself a better person. And that's the same thing you tell your college student, your teenager, your young adult. Failure isn't damaging. Shame is. How you deal with that failure, how you treat it and what you say about it is something you should do is help your teenager, college student, reflect instead of ruminate. What did you learn about yourself? Ask them that question. What happened and what support would make this better next time? What part of this is in your control? Let them see they have control and maybe what they did or didn't do.
Your calm presence is going to teach resilience more than any lecture, more than anything else. You being present and showing up is going to teach your young adult they can come to you and you are always there for them.
Listening, you are present. You are not judging them. We all make mistakes, and mistakes do not define us. Neither do failures. A real life situation. I have a friend. The son doesn't do well on exam in high school. He fails the exam. Immediately, he comes home and he says to my friend, I'm so stupid. I'm never going to be good at school. Immediately, she, as the parent, wants to jump in and save the day. Don't we all? She says, I'll get you a tutor. You'll do better on the next one. What this is saying, instead, pause, and then the parent says, wow, that must really hurt. It must have not felt good getting that F or doing poorly on that exam. I could see how disappointed you are. Later, they talk about what felt hard, what support the parent can give the next time they're having this exam and they feel overwhelmed. In this case, the parent didn't blame or shame their child. The teen doesn't magically feel better, but they do feel safe. And that's where confidence begins to rebuild. A teen, a student, a child, a college student, and a high schooler, they need to feel safe. They need to feel heard and know they can mess up and you still will love them and be by their side. That's when confidence begins to rebuild. Academic stress and failure can deeply impact your teen's confidence. As a parent, you support their emotional recovery. You rebuild their self worth. You're helping your teen develop resilience. These are setbacks, they don't define you. As a parent, that's what you're teaching. You're not teaching about a grade or a math test, you're teaching a life skill. Life doesn't always go the way we want it as young adults and grown adults. We see this as parents. So you're teaching your teen that when they're struggling, it's okay. They're there, have confidence in themselves. They can fix this. They have control to make things better. Remember, your relationship matters more than any report card does. Subscribe for more tools to support your teen through the toughest years with connection, not control. Check out my free downloadable on 50 questions to motivate your teen.